Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we have for you. Amazon pilot, you're going to want to know about it. IMF, FedNow, 9 days away. We got Jerome Powell on stable coins and crypto. And how about this right here? We may never see XRP below 50 cents again very, very soon. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, the market is $1.21 trillion. It is up 2.6%, but Bitcoin, 29,955 and change, busted 30,000 overnight. It's up 3.5 on the 24-hour, but 20% up on the 7-day, 15.2% up for Ethereum. That's at 1,800 plus right now. Tether market cap, 83.1 billion plus. We see XRP at 49 cents. It did hit 50. We're up 3.5% on the 7-day, and we're sitting flat on the 24-hour. Let's take a look at this very quickly here. There's a new addition to the Link 2 family offering, and it's H2O IA, artificial intelligence. Now, I know our audience loves artificial intelligence the way I do, and I tell you something, this is a very affordable private equity offering right here. Click the link for link2.com, and don't forget, it ain't going to be much longer before we get a window closed on that Ripple and you can't get any more. I tell you, this is just a remarkable time. Do not mess around. Click the link for the best private equity in the world right there underneath the video. Hey, Novagrats, you haven't answered us. Maybe you can help us understand this one. He said he never spoke with William Hinman ever, not once, but this list says otherwise here. He's right on it down here. So somebody's not telling the full truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And that's not very unusual in this SEC versus Ripple case, though, is it? Then we see this. Tether bought commercial paper from subsidiary of alleged, it is alleged, terrorist organization or company there. And let me tell you something. I read this yesterday, so let me just refresh myself very quickly here. Alleged terrorist link bank. That's what it was. Excuse me for not remembering, but alleged. But again, these are the signs that remind me that the U.S. government has not spoken about whether USD Tether is in good standing with the U.S. government and the Federal Reserve, which is a private central bank, and the USD Tether is selling the only product that the Federal Reserve has ever offered, which is dollars. We'll see. Meanwhile, stablecoin issuer Circle, which clearly makes the claim that we can handle this, we're no USD Tether. They've started buying U.S. Treasury bills with its BlackRock managed USDC reserve fund after ditching all holdings for overnight repos in the U.S. debt ceiling standoff. This is all an effort to position themselves to where they can't be damaged should something go wrong with the debt ceiling standoff. Now, with this, we have to remind everybody of what we saw over the last couple days here. BlackRock, Citadel, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Wisdom Tree Funds, Invesco, and now Valkyrie all have filed for a spot ETF for Bitcoin. This is the biggest sign that this crypto space is preparing for takeoff like we've never seen before. Once the legacy firms are receiving our money to buy crypto, the SEC will be okay with it again. Just you watch. I'm telling you. Then there's this. Amazon collaborating in pilot program for new CBDC proposed by the IMF and central banks. Now, what's interesting about this is, boy, if you're not following cowboy.crypto, what in the world are you doing? This guy is on fire. Now, see, if you're old enough, you know what that is. You know what that's about, right? Amazon and IMF collaborating in a new pilot program for CBDC proposed by the IMF and central banks here. I want to take you through this because he's got it. For those who don't know already, the Federal Reserve joined the U.S. Faster Payments Council as the founding sponsor. The founder of the U.S. Faster Payments Council is the head of product at Amazon Payments and is a member of FedNow Community Group. The only crypto company representing the U.S. Faster Payments Council is Ripple. Craig DeWitt was their vice chair before leaving. Now two Ripple executive holds the leadership roles within this working group, Pat Thielen and James Selleck. The clearinghouse is also a member of the U.S. Faster Payments Council. Then there's this. Here are a few words from ex-CFO of Amazon, Warren Jensen, on his new role as the chair of the audit committee for Ripple. What Ripple has already accomplished in terms of payments and technology and industry leadership has been a game changer for crypto and more broadly, the whole financial services. I look at Warren Jensen's move onto Ripple board as the CFO. I look at that move, the audit committee there, as almost like a transition team. That's the way I see that. And we'll see if we're right or not. Then there's this. This report listing XRP as a virtual currency by Sullivan Cromwell is directly from the IMF website. And you can see the reference there. And then there's this. Some notable guest names at Ripple swelled this past year. Jordan Lambert, MasterCard Chief Digital Officer. Derek Walton, Bank of America, head of GTS, Emerging Payments and Innovation. And we all know about the patents that Bank of America has with Ripple and XRP in them and RippleNet. And then there is Xiaoshen Zhang, Amazon Web Services Global Head. I'm sure it's nothing. Then we hear here in a hearing yesterday or the day before, Fed Chair Jerome Powell says we see stablecoins as a form of money. And you should hear him say it. Here we go.
We do see payment stablecoins as a form of money. And in all advanced economies, the ultimate source of credibility in money is the central bank. And we believe that it would be appropriate to have quite a robust federal role in what happens in stablecoins going forward, and that leaving us with a weak role and allowing a lot of private money creation at the state level would be a mistake. But nonetheless, again, I do appreciate that we've been able to be heard and share our views with the committee.
And there you have that. So basically, the gang on the right wants to be able to organize stable coins and issue them from a state level. The gang on the left wants to have the Fed do it and have it done at a federal level. Remember, the Federal Reserve is not a part of the federal government. It is a private central bank. But they do have regulatory powers now. Don't forget about that. They've been able to achieve that. Jerome Powell from the Fed says crypto has some staying power. Listen to this different clip here from Warren Davidson where he gets Jerome to be able to say this particular phrase.
So when I think about some of the dynamics that are going on in the market related to banks, non-banks, securities, not securities, one agency in particular has been very activist in this place over at the SEC, and it's kind of tangentially related to the Fed, but crypto and digital assets in the U.S. has got a market cap of around $1.1 trillion right now. It's been there for a bit. Do you acknowledge that this asset class has staying power in the U.S. economy?
It appears to have some staying power. Of course, that 1.1 trillion was, what was that a year ago? A lot higher.
Yeah, it's had some volatility.
Yeah, and it's had some volatility because of the Securities Exchange Commission, right? Let's not mince words here. Let's understand exactly where that volatility came from. Oh, boy. But let's take a look at this. We are now 9 days away. Countdown to history with FedNow going green. Yeah, that's it, going live. This is a reminder that Jess Chang of Ripple worked on the core infrastructure of FedNow and uses Bank of America, Ripple Premier Partner, as an example. Open your eyes to what's happening, and I think that's just as right as it can be right there. And again, I just want to highlight, I don't think we see FedNow go live and then we see XR price go ballistic. And I wouldn't get upset if it did. And I'm happy to make the video if I'm wrong about that. But I believe that FedNow, for clarity, is exciting because Ripple is a partner to FedNow, and RippleNet, I believe, will help work in tandem with this new plumbing system and infrastructure for payments in the intra-bank system domestically. It's not about using XRP per se. It's about organizing the domestic liquidity so it can be drawn on for large cross-border payments. So I believe that this is a step before we see massive large payments be used through other payment systems around the world. And I believe that this same thing that's happening here with FedNow in the US is the same thing that needs to happen with, let's say, BRICS, or let's say CHAPS, or let's say TIPS, all the different payment systems that exist regionally around the world. Take a listen to this clip.
But what about those transfers between customers of different banks? Suppose a customer at Citi wants to make a payment to a customer of Bank of America. Citi debits the account of its customer, Bank of America credits its customer's account. But how do Citi and Bank of America connect with each other? This is where the Fed, or central banks, play an important role. The accounts and the payment services that the Federal Reserve provides, those services help to bridge these individual bank systems and allow them to interoperate, so to speak. Citi could pay Bank of America, in our example, through the Federal Reserve, which would typically process a transaction by receiving instructions from Citi, delivering instructions to Bank of America, and settling the amount of a transaction by effecting changes to the bank's master account balances, credits and debits over the Fed wire fund service. So one way to think about how the payment system operates today is that it essentially operates in a series of isolated networks. Banks operate their own individualized network with their own customers, with systems like the Fed system as hubs that link them all
together. And you know what? That's what's exciting to me, because once you organize that domestic liquidity, you could draw on that for cross-border payments and bridging those things with something like XRP very easily, I believe. And here we see just how big that pool of liquidity could be. FedWire does $1 quadrillion in excess of that in settlement transactions. That's what we're talking about. 15 zeros, ladies and gentlemen. And what does that all really mean? Like, what are we looking at with XRP and price? Where are we? Well, we're dancing in the final wake-up line. The XRP chart is presenting something on the monthly time frame. So far, the XRP body candle is on the edge of the final wake-up line. I want you to listen to this thread. I've never heard Eggrag Crypto, the technical analyst, be so bullish as you will hear in this thread right here. He says, if we manage to close the month of June with a full body candle above it, then I can say with a high degree of conviction, XRP will never be seen below 50 cents, as it is today at 49. It will be the biggest signal, in my opinion, that XRP will fly high. Find below in the thread different time frames, starting with the monthly, weekly, 5-day, 3-day, 1-day, 12-hour, 4-hour, as you can see. And he shows all of this here. So we're going to want to see the macro, this thing close above in June. If we see it close above in June, then we have some real positive indicators, not predictors, but indicators that suggest we're going the right way. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.